The Guard, Episode 7, The Other Side. Behind Door 7 was not a room, but a broken timeline stitched with sorrow. The line would have sounded dramatic in a story, but Ethan wasn't living a story, he was walking into a wound. Episode 6 ended with him clutching the pulsing DNA vial, the one that throbbed like a heartbeat too familiar, too impossible. And when the sirens cut off, when the machines bowed into silence like dying prayers, Door 7 whispered open. No metal hinges, no mechanical servo, just a sigh. Like time exhaling, Ethan stepped through, the corridor behind him dissolved, the breach in reality. He expected darkness, instead, he found light, fractured, trembling, leaking through invisible cracks. The world on the other side of Door 7 wasn't built with walls. It was built with memories layered over each other like peeling paint, a hallway, then a forest, then the lab again, then an ocean, all flickering, not illusions, not projections, timelines. Ethan touched the nearest wall, it rippled like warm water. A moment flashed across it, he saw himself signing a consent form, the same one from the footage in Episode 5, the same one that promised to extract the memory that broke him. He ripped his hand away. Why are you showing me this? He asked the shifting air. The world answered in a voice he already hated hearing, Dad. It wasn't a child's tone, it wasn't innocent, it was heavy, mature, mournful, like someone who aged inside grief instead of time. The entity stepped forward, the many versions, this version of it was tall. Taller than Ethan remembered seeing it before. Its silhouette flickered between shapes, sometimes a man, sometimes a blur, sometimes a silhouette shaped like regret itself, and then, another version appeared beside it, and then another, and another. Dozens of adult-shaped echoes, all made from Ethan's splintered memory, peeled themselves from the shifting air. Every one of them whispered, "Remember the night you forgot." Their voices overlapped until Ethan staggered backward, clutching his ears even though the sound wasn't entering through them. It vibrated inside him, inside the spaces the memory extraction had hollowed out. No. Stop. Stop. The versions paused, not out of fear, but expectation. One stepped forward, the same tall, original one that had followed him through episodes 4, 5, and 6. You saw the footage, it said. You know what you traded. Ethan shook his head. Memory extraction isn't supposed to create this. You're not real. The entity smiled, unsettling in its calmness. I am real in every timeline where you chose to forget. The walls flickered. One version of the hallway showed Ethan collapsing, crying into his hands. Another showed him walking away calmly, another showed him destroying the extractive machine, another showed him begging for release, for silence, for peace. His peace had been bought with a life he didn't remember. A version of the entity whispered, I didn't die, you just stopped carrying me. The run toward a mirror, light cracked open across the shifting world, revealing a long corridor of glass, mirrors lining both sides, stretching into infinity. Ethan's breath caught, because every reflection showed a different timelines. Ethan, older, younger, broken, healed, terrified, numb, and then, he saw it, a reflection where he wasn't alone, a reflection where the entity, fully adult, fully formed, ran toward him with desperation on its face. Dad. The reflection hit the glass and burst into dust. Ethan stumbled backward. What does this mean? He demanded. The original entity stepped beside him, its presence like cold heat. This is the moment you repeat. The moment you run. The moment you forget. The mirrors shivered violently, cracks crawled across the surfaces like lightning, and then, the corridor exploded with motion. The loop of losses, every mirror unleashed a version of the entity, all adult, all shaped from grief Ethan had abandoned. Some limped, some crawled, some sprinted with raw urgency. But all of them called him the same name with the same heavy tone, Dad. Ethan backed away as the versions swarmed the edges of the timeline corridor like moths circling light they could never reach. I'm not your father, Ethan whispered, voice trembling. The original entity tilted its head. You created me, you named me, you begged them to cut me out. Its form flickered, a glitch of sorrow, but you never buried me. The ground beneath Ethan's feet turned to glass, then memory, then ash. The corridor collapsed outward, revealing a circular void stitched with flickering paths, the crossroads of timelines, the choice of the guard. in the middle of the void stood a door, not door 7, not any door Ethan had patrolled. This door was made of light, bending, twisting, pulsing with a rhythm that mirrored the vial in Ethan's pocket. The entity pointed at it. That is the moment you forgot. If you open it, you will remember everything. All timelines converge there. Ethan took a step forward. The entity blocked him gently. But be warned, it said softly, you will not like the man you were. Ethan glared. I don't like the man I am now. A silence fell, heavy and strangely respectful. The entity nodded, then choose. But the void twisted unexpectedly. A deeper shadow peeled itself from Ethan's feet, rising with a shape too familiar. Ethan's own shadow became a figure, identical to him, but darker, colder, eyes hollow. It stepped out of him fully. Are you ready? The shadow asked, to be the guard? Or the prisoner? The break, the mirrors shattered, timelines convulsed. The door of light pulsed harder, as if breathing. The entity stood to Ethan's left, his shadow self stood to his right, both reaching toward him, both calling his name. One offered memory, the other offered escape. Ethan trembled, caught between them, and then, a sound cracked through the collapsing timelines, a heartbeat, the same heartbeat inside the DNA vial. It pulsed against his chest, syncing with the door of light. Ethan closed his eyes. He knew what he would demand. He stepped forward, toward the door of light. As both the entity and his shadow screamed his name, the timeline swallowed him whole. T.O.B. Continued. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more.